Hi everyone, Bob the Tomato here. This is Joe Spadaford. He's a concept artist at Big Idea. His job is to create many of the places and characters in our shows. Today he's going to show you how to draw Junior Asparagus as Darby.
Hi, welcome to the Wizard of Oz, how to draw Darby. Now I'm Joe Spadaford, the art director of this film, and we're going to draw Darby. Now Darby's Junior, but dressed up to look a little bit like Dorothy, only no ponytails. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead right at it and draw Darby and Junior mixed into one. Well, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to break down big shapes. He's a cylinder, but for this case we'll just draw a square. We'll indicate where the top of his, he has kind of like this clump on the top of his head of smaller little circles, because he's an asparagus and that's what asparagus have. And then I'm going to indicate with a bit of a triangle, and also actually think of it more as a cone shape that you would see on the side of the road, one of those orange cones, just indicating what his hat would look like. And his hat actually has some dimples in it too, a little bit like Minnesota Cuke's hat. Okay, so that's we're just gonna block in real roughly the way his hat's gonna look. And you can actually draw through the back of his hat just to make sure there's enough room. Okay, now I'm gonna draw a center line. And the one thing we need to know about Junior is that his eyes are big on his body. Okay, so his eyes are pretty big. Now I'm gonna indicate his nose. His mouth kind of slides off to the side a little bit, so I'm gonna indicate that. I'm gonna draw two triangle shapes. His shirt has got a little bit of an S shape to it. He's got suspenders, which are square shapes. Just put a little circle. And then we're going to indicate the circles on top of his head. Okay, now I'm going to go into his eyes and just make two ellipses, which are circles that kind of tilt inwards a little bit. And I'm going to draw two other little circles in there to show highlights. Alright, so now that's the basic building blocks of the character. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to treat it a little differently this time around. I'm going to start coloring. I'll take this green and I go right into his body. I'm going to draw everything that I know is green. Just make it all green. Then what you can do is you can take a lighter shade of green and go right on top of it. And you can even get fancy and add a little bit of a blue so you can create a shadow side to him, which I'm probably actually going to put a little bit of green on top of that too. So hold on, I'm going to draw this blue in there first. It looks weird at first, but trust me, once you start getting the blue on top, or the green on top, it makes a lot more sense as to why you're doing it. And if it's looking a little weird right now, it's okay, because I'll show you something we're going to do in a second here that's going to make it come together. Now I'm going to take some blue and go into his shirt. Now he's got this checkered pattern, Kind of like Dorothy had a checkered outfit on. Suspenders are a red color. So I'm going to take a red and draw that right in. Now I'm going to actually take an orange and a yellow. Put those in there. All right. Actually, I think we can get a little bit more red with that suspender. Just going to go and get a nice yellow kind of color here. Go over the whole thing. You're going to use a lot of crayon up on this guy. You can hardly see this, I know. I'm actually going to go with a little bit of a darker orange. Okay, so we got the orange in there. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to push it a little further, just with a little bit of a brown. Now actually what we can do, I'll put a little bit of a brown up there too, and we're going to throw that brown into that hat band he has. And he's got overalls that are kind of a blue color here. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring everything together with a nice black line. I'm going to bring that, going to bring in his eye shapes. Bring out his nose. The underside of his shirt, his pants, that big smile that Darby has, especially when he sees the Land of Oz. I mean, Haas. Gonna get some of these circles in here that kind of got lost when I colored it dark. I'm gonna draw some of these flary shapes that are in the hat. Just do some zigzag lines. Okay, now just to finish it off, I'm just going to take a little bit of a blue shade. Kind of put it on the side here just to make him pop a little bit. And put a line down the middle just to show the middle of his eyes. And as always, we're going to sign our name to it. Joe, age 29. Next time you guys see me, it'll be age 30. So thanks again, and I appreciate you guys watching. I hope to see you again next time, and keep drawing.